Well, I'm back here again with Lynn's Travel and our driver Peter. Been up here with him before. Lovely chap, so very pleased to be reunited.
Well, for those who haven't seen this before, this is the Cumbria Grand Hotel in Grange Over Sands. And if it looks a bit like a giant railway station, you might not be so far from the truth. It was actually built by a railway company. But it's gradually being renovated and there's still a lot of work to do, but I can't recommend the food highly enough. It's very good grub and plenty of it. So I'm now going to attempt to take the walk down to the seafront. I've been very reluctant to do so, mainly because after my experience in Carlisle Monday, I did wonder whether I'd ever manage to get back up the hill. But if I play my cards right, Peter's picking folk up at Grange Over Sands station at 4:30 this afternoon. So as long as I can get there by 4:30, I can get a lift back to the hotel. If I don't get there by 4:30, I'm going to be struggling. Just listen to that bird song while I shut up for a minute. Like a little mini jungle through here. I'm actually taking it steady, going down the hill. It's not too bad. And I'll see you when I get down there. Again, I don't think I filmed this last time. This is what you see when you get down to the entrance by the main road. Obviously an old gatehouse of some kind on the corner here. And view out through the trees across to Morecambe Bay. Somewhat dilapidated. What is interesting though are these. They're obviously where a gate was at one time, but no gate on the other side. So obviously when it was first opened, this entrance, I'm guessing, was very much narrower. Anyway, enough of that. We'll go a bit further. There's Grange Over Sands station down there. There's a bit of a breeze, so I hope it doesn't make too much noise. If I turn round and show you that the semaphore signals are still there. So Grange box must still be open and operating, because you wouldn't pull them from any box further away than that. Physically the signal wouldn't make it. So that's good to see. That's a sign of the times down there. We've had such a drought this year. That little creek that you can see is all dried up. Normally there's a little bit of water trickling through there during the daytime, but it's all looking very dry, very bare. Good afternoon, Mr. Wood Pigeon. I doubt if I see anything rarer today. Hard to believe a few hours ago we were over there somewhere. Way over there. On the promenade in Morecambe. I can hear an aircraft. I can't see it. Anyway, sitting here, just taking it easy. Of course, sitting here in the daytime, you run the risk of being disturbed by people like but there are some things that I need to say.
Well, on my last video, I was telling you about the updates and all the rest of it, and that I hadn't been able to get out filming for one reason or another. But I didn't think that really mattered because obviously I plenty of film from my travels this year, starting with the Lake District again. And here we are. However, when I tried to put all the files together ready for editing into videos, I found that I was missing some rather crucial bits of video. I really can't understand how that's happened. I have no idea where they've gone. Normally on an SD card, I found with my cameras, I might delete them on the camera to make room to do more filming, but when you put the SD card into the PC, you can go back over those original files and you can recover them onto the PC. Not in this case. They have just completely disappeared. Funnily enough, both from the PC as well. I have no idea where they've gone. Just 3 or 4 video files, but very, very important ones. Half the amount of film that I did. And they're going to make a mockery of one piece of video that I'm going to try and put together. So I'm going to have to, when I can sort my laptop out, because it won't recognise the alphabet section of my pin number, so I'm going to have to try and get into it another way and reinstall the keyboard readers. But that's another story, as my friend Roy Edwards would say. So I've got a bit of work to do to see what I can salvage, if I can salvage anything. But there should be stuff coming up. I mean, I've probably got enough left of the Lake District to make at least 2 more videos. Um, then, of course, I'm off to Chester in a week or so's time, and I've got West Wales later in October. I'm also going to York for the North Yorkshire Moors Railway and National Railway Museum, and a day visit to the Science Museum in London in October, where I hope to do some filming. So there is stuff coming up, and also I hope that once we get past October and we're in the close season for a couple of months, I should be able to start doing the permanent build of my model railway layout, which will mean even if I haven't got any general videos to put up, at least I can fill in the gaps with the model railway stuff. So hopefully there will be something because I know folk like continuity, and I do try and make sure that I get a video out at least once a fortnight. So I thank you all for your patience because you must be bored to tears listening to me droning on and on and on like something out of Monty Python's Flying Circus. Um, and I acknowledge the copyright for that. Um, but it was a quote, so hopefully YouTube won't find any problem with it. As yeah, it's just been frustrating with this because I had got some film which I didn't get the chance to film last time I was in the Lake District, and that has just gone poof. Fingers crossed I find it. But anyway, before I go any further, I'd just like to say a lot of people go on about like, subscribe, and all the rest of it. There is a reason for that, and that is because it helps this thing called the algorithm. And the more people that like or subscribe, or even dislike to some extent, it counts as an interaction with the video, and it means that YouTube will recommend that to a wider audience. So that is how it helps grow. People like me, we don't do it for money. We do it because we enjoy what we do, and we're quite happy to share what we do with other folk. And even if only one or two people like it, I've made a difference. So that's the only thing I say about it. So, yes, if you haven't subscribed, it would be nice if you did, or at least leave a like or a dislike if you don't like it. Um, it doesn't worry me in the slightest. As I say, I do it purely and simply because I enjoy it, and I hope that at least a few people will get some pleasure out of what I produce. Anyway, I'm going to end this little segment here, and let's get back to what was a live commentary at the time.
Do continue to watch if you want, but as always, it's your free choice. But I do value everybody's support, and thank you very much for it. Well, I was going to come down, or try and come down, first thing in the morning, but I'm not at all sure that I will be able to get back up that hill again. I'm just walking on some new tarmac here. It almost feels as though it's melting. That's strange. Is it? Just the way it looks. So, Peter is coming back down to Grange Over Sands station at 4:30, and he's going to give anybody that's waiting there a lift back to the hotel. So that is why I'm making my way along here, and at least it means that I've been able to get down and make a video on what you might call the seafront. The place is called Grange Over Sands. However, I'm given to understand that there haven't really been any sands here for something like 90 or 100 years, because it's just silted up. As you can see, we've got this marshy stuff here now, and that yellow brimstone keeps flying by. Lovely butterflies they are. I mean, I've never actually seen the sea even come right in, even though it was high tide about 2 or 3 hours ago. I would have expected to be further in than it is now. But what you can say is it's very peaceful here. Warm in the sun, but as soon as you get into that easterly wind, northeasterly wind, it's got a bit of a bite to it. It's not been a bad week so far. I shall forever regret the fact that I didn't meet my friend in Carlisle Monday. I think the easiest way to describe that is just a cataclysmic misunderstanding, which meant that he was in one place and I was in another, and come a long way to see him. But I suppose these things happen. Hopefully I will see him later in the year when he comes south. But that was one of the main highlights supposedly of my holiday. The problem is we were dropped. I had hoped we'd be dropped at the station. We weren't, so I had to struggle all the way from the other side of the city centre back over to the station, and most of that was uphill, and boy was that a struggle. With this atrial fibrillation, sometimes it's good and I can get up the hills okay. This week it's not been so good, so I was having to stop every 150 yards or so, get my breath back. It's really only just going up gradients, so coming down and just walking gently along the flat, it's not too bad. All right, maybe a little bit out of breath at the moment, but that's because I'm walking and talking at the same time. But yeah, so actually that rather threw me out of sync again for a couple of days. I'm only just beginning to feel back in some kind of decent heart rhythm now. So it's rather sort of muted the enjoyment a bit. But we're back to this shelter here. And there is the signal box. Like I said, it must still be open because of the semaphore signals. Right. That's still a long pull, but those signals the other side of the bridge, even though the signal box is it's a fair trek from the station as well. Anyway, I can't remember what I was saying. Oh yeah, it's taken a couple of days to get back in sync from the troubles of Monday, but I'm just about there now. But I'm not going to take any chances. I've come out today, so I won't be coming down early in the morning, and I know we're all going to miss out on that because that's when the birds come out to play, and the ducks, and the wildfowl, but just one of them things. Now, what puzzles me about this station and the signal box, those two signals the other side of the bridge are what I would classify as an advanced starter and an outer home. I would expect maybe, or perhaps the other one you could classify as an inner home, but then you'd expect platform starter signals, and there are none. And I'm thinking to myself, why have a signal box open but only two signals? And there are no cable runs for semaphore signals this far up. There's cables buried in there. So is the signal box still open? I'm beginning to wonder now. I can't believe they would have a signalman in there just to work two signals. There has to be some colour signals somewhere else. Either that, no, they couldn't be worked remotely from a panel box or had electricity. They've got to be worked from this one. That shall remain a mystery. Aha. There is a starter of sorts. There it is. So where's the one on the other side? That must be an electronic one. So that's now 3 signals we worked out, controlled from there. Can't get access to the box, unfortunately. And there is our trusty steed at Grange Over Sands station. Still having a restoration work on it, but looking very grand, isn't it? Good setting for a photograph of the coach. I might even send it to Lynn's Travel.
Thanks for watching. See you next time.